Now, what about Topuria and Islam? Could that fight happen?
Yep, that can happen too.
I'd like to see that fight.
I think everybody wants to see that fight, including Topuria and Islam. So,
you know, there's the John Jones and the Alex Pereira fight. Everyone keeps talking about that being the biggest fight. I heard Joe Rogan talking about it's the biggest fight you could possibly make. But then there's also people that say the Ilia Topuria and the Islam fight is the biggest fight you can make.
I think right now, I think Topuria Islam can be biggest fight, not John Jones and Pereira.
Still a big fight, but not at the level.
No, it's still big fight, but not on that level.
No, not on that level.
I don't think it's same level.
Well, I think, in my opinion, it favors us even more so, you know, because now Ilia, he's 5'6", right? 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
So he's definitely, you know, he's going to be strong as a fire plug for darn sure, but you know, putting on that extra weight, I don't know. His speed isn't going to be there. The power.
Just ahead of UFC 322, Dana White dropped a bombshell. Islam Makhachev will face Ilia Topuria next. Fans definitely didn't see this one coming. Islam's dominance at lightweight versus Topuria's fiery rise at featherweight. That's a clash of killers right there. The announcement instantly set the MMA world buzzing, with everyone debating who truly holds the edge.
185, I heard I'm gonna be fit, you know. It's gonna be hard, you know. It's not gonna be my weight.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's gonna be too big.
When Dana White started talking about Islam and Ilia, you could tell he wasn't just hyping something up for the cameras. He mentioned how things have played out exactly the way Khabib's father once imagined. Islam taking over the division with that same calm dominance. It was one of those moments where you realize the story has really come full circle.
but anymore, his dad had this plan where Khabib would win, be dominant, and then he would step down and Islam would slide in. And it actually played out exactly the way his dad said it would, which never happened, ever. Right? You go to any gym in the world, they'll tell you, this guy's gonna be the world champion. Not only did his dad say that his son would be, he said that Islam would be too. And he was absolutely
right. After that, the topic shifted toward Ilia Topuria. Dana described him in a way that made it clear he's earned his spot. At first he thought Ilia was just another loud personality, but over time he's seen how sharp and dangerous he actually is. You could tell Dana respects the guy, especially when he talked about how clean his striking looks.
Completely, yeah. And how often does that happen?
right.
Not usually.
We roll into New York on Saturday, and Islam is actually moving up a weight class to win another belt in another weight division.
And that could happen.
It could happen.
Jack?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what about Topuria and Islam? Could that fight happen?
Yep. That can happen too.
I'd like to see that fight.
I think everybody wants to see that fight, including Topuria and Islam. So
he's a different bird, that Topuria, huh?
Yeah.
I thought he was just cocky at the beginning. But he's the real deal.
He really is.
Man, those hands are like, he's almost like a regular, it's like almost a real fighter, you know, like a prize fighter. You know, because a lot of the UFC guys, I mean, McGregor was a good boxer, but this guy is like razor sharp.
Khabib Nurmagomedov also spoke about the Islam versus Ilia matchup. He mentioned how people might see John Jones versus Alex Pereira as massive, but to him, Islam versus Ilia is the real story. There's something about the mix of styles, the unbeaten streaks, and the overall energy that makes it feel bigger than anything else right now. You could sense he respects Ilia's talent, but still believes Islam's discipline and years of hard work will be too much.
But then there's also people that say the Ilia Topuria and the Islam fight is the biggest fight you can make.
I think right now, I think Topuria Islam can be biggest fight, not John Jones and Pereira.
Still a big fight, but not at the level.
No, it's still big fight, but not on that level.
No, not on that level.
I don't think it's same level.
After Khabib shared his thoughts, it didn't take long for Chael Sonnen to jump into the mix. He picked up right where Khabib left off, saying that even though the rumored White House event isn't confirmed yet, the buzz around it is real. He pointed out that among all the possible fights floating around, like John Jones versus Pereira, Khamzat Chimaev versus Bo Nickel, and Islam versus Ilia, this matchup stands out the most. He described it as the fight the UFC seems truly interested in right now, the kind of fight that could shift everything depending on timing and performance.
And Ariel said to me, what do you think they're going to do? And I go, well, you know, what the bigger fights are, what the biggest fight is that they're working on, what they are currently working. There's changes, right? There's changes week to week. But the answer to the question for right now, and what I told Ariel, is Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. That is the fight that is tentatively penciled in. Now, Chimaev and Bo Nickel, by the way, you tell me what you want about that right now. I'm telling you, by that time is a potential. And then, of course, you've got the John Jones, Alex.
Then he got into comparisons. Chael brought up how Khabib believes Islam versus Ilia is bigger than John Jones versus Pereira, and even though Chael didn't fully agree, he didn't dismiss it either. He said it's close enough that a big win from either fighter could tilt the scales completely. What he liked most about Khabib's take was that it opened the door for conversation. It got people thinking about which fight really defines this new era of MMA.
Islam versus Ilia is. Okay. He's not right, but he's not wrong by much. So, you know, what would put you over that hump? Well, one of them fighting. I mean, quite simply, Islam having a great performance at Madison Square Garden, becoming, I guess, what we would look at as champ, not technically champ, but what we would view as champ. That would add to it. Ilia is supposedly doing something on Paramount in a couple of months. Let's say that goes well. You know, the fight right now of Ilia Islam versus Jones Pereira, it's a close enough battle in terms of you're just trying to predict what the bigger fight is. It's a close enough battle that if you threw a little fuel on one of those fights, it would take the lead.
But where Chael really stood out was when he started talking about how the fight should happen. He hinted that Khabib and his team might be focusing too much on weight divisions and belts instead of the bigger picture. Chael suggested that the smartest move would be to make it happen at 170. He said that would open the door for something even more historic, a possible champ versus champ scenario that could make the fight unforgettable.
Islam and Ilia fight, the question becomes, whose belt are we fighting over? And they want Khabib, they want to come down to 155. That's the part, they get that out of their head. Build into this, all you want is the fight, right? It doesn't matter whose belt. You just want to beat the other guy and have that for your legacy. The story is bigger because if we do it at 170, you now have the opportunity for the first ever champ.
When Javier Mendez was asked about Islam fighting Ilia, he explained that Islam's focus isn't on jumping around divisions just for the sake of it, especially not all the way up to middleweight. He made it clear that 170 is where Islam's eyes are right now. And if anything is going to happen with Ilia, that's where it will happen.
He's a small 170, so to go even consider 185, he'd have to be walking around, you know, 210, 215, and he's walking around 190. So I think that's going to be, you know, ridiculous to even consider him going to 185. So I'm just seeing you asking this question because everybody does, so I'm just answering the question already that we're not looking at 185. I seriously doubt he is also. He's only looking at 170 and then the White House card, if it can happen.
When the topic turned to how Ilia would handle moving up, Javier gave a straightforward answer. He talked about Ilia's size, strong and explosive, yes, but much smaller in frame compared to Islam. You could sense a bit of confidence in his tone. It wasn't arrogance. It was the feeling that they've already thought through how that fight would play out. He mentioned how adding too much weight could affect Ilia's speed, something that might tip the balance toward Islam.
Ilia Topuria moving up to welterweight to fight him in that weight class. How drastically does that change what the fight would look like between him and Islam, in your opinion?
Well, I think, in my opinion, it favors us even more so, you know, because now Ilia, he's 5'6", right? 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
So he's definitely, you know, he's going to be strong as a fire plug for darn sure. But, you know, putting on that extra weight, I don't know. His speed isn't going to be there.
He also hinted that Islam and the team were already prepared for that kind of fight if it ever came their way. It wasn't new territory for them. Javier mentioned how Islam had been eyeing the welterweight title for a while, and that the timing simply worked out when other contenders fell through. You could tell they view every move as part of a bigger plan, not just chasing hype fights.
See, but regardless, we were ready to fight him back then if we had to. But the bottom line is, he wanted that welterweight title, so he was waiting to find out what was going to happen between Bilal, you know, and Jack. So when Bilal lost, that was the opportunity he wanted, because we had discussed way before that we even knew who, you know, Ilia was going to.
Bilal Muhammad jumped in with a sharp, focused prediction, and he didn't hold back. He gave credit where it was due, calling Ilia to finish over Charles Oliveira impressive, not just because of the knockout, but because Ilia predicted it and then delivered. But Bilal was more interested in what that win really means moving forward.
Oliveira, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one to go with. I don't know if it's vision problem or honestly, I'm gonna say I think he's like blind or just has really bad vision, because every single one of those fights he has to move forward. He has to be in your face, and you don't want to be in Topuria's face, who has shorter arms, who has heavier punches than him. I think he should have played it longer, and if you were going to be on the inside, you had to grapple. He initiated the grappling, he tried to grapple. I know he played bottom a little bit, but when Topuria let him up, it should have been back to grappling, playing that game, getting out of the round. You got to feel for his strength. Topuria did a beautiful job of slipping that cross and just reading him. He knew the jab cross hook was going to come. Oliveira is very simple with...
Whether it happens at 170 or somewhere else, this fight could define a new era in MMA.